Okay, what's up, guys? We have another video here with another graduate from the Man Transformation Experience. Matthew, how's it going, brother?
Hey, yeah, I'm good. Good, thank you.
Good to have you. And so we're doing these interviews to, I want to show the viewers and anyone who's interested in getting help an inside view of what guys experience after they go through coaching. So we'll start with you. Where were you before you started the Man Transformation program? And then kind of where are you now?
Okay, so before, I think it was, I didn't really, I wasn't making um, a lot of jumps in terms of um, leaps of faith in terms of following my gut or just making decisions. Or I would find myself in a spot where I'd want to go and speak to a girl, or like if I wanted to be confident in a situation just with like a general person, I wouldn't have the courage to do it. But ever since the 12 weeks and beyond, I've basically been coming from a better place in terms of my interactions with people, more from a place of love and presence. And I've also taken a lot of courageous action, especially during the 12 weeks. You take so much action. As long as you commit, as long as you take a lot of action, that by the time you get to the end, you find that you were doing things that before were seemed like way overwhelming. So yeah, I got a lot out of it, like a lot. Like now, I mean, yeah, just a few days ago, I was chatting to a bunch of random girls that like before I would never have done. So yeah, I got a lot out of it. It's hard to say specifically, but
Yeah. So I remember before, so you skate, right? So before you'd be hanging out with your buddies, or you'd be at a skate park, and then there'd be girls nearby, but you wouldn't go talk to them because you're afraid of what the guys might think or something. But then throughout the program, and like now, you go now, right? Like you
yeah,
have that freedom to take the action you want to take.
yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm still the same. Like I'm still quite introverted by nature. Like I don't really like to chase after people that much. But like when it comes to those in the moment decisions, like when your gut says like, oh, I really want to speak to that person, I'll
Yeah.
just do it. Like, and it's not some like crazy big thing of like, oh, I'm going to make this massive leap. It's just like, yeah, you just do it. And it's like, it's much more chilled out now. Like,
Beautiful.
um, yeah. And it's easy. Well, it's not easy, but yeah, you do the right thing when it comes down to those like pivotal moments.
Yeah. Like a theme I'm already noticing is like you're saying it's more of like a natural thing, a natural game, right? Like
Yeah,
you're not,
100%.
yeah, and a good distinction you made too is like it's not like now you're not one of those guys that goes out to do street approaches or goes out
Mm,
to approach women in the mall and in the coffee shops. Like that's not just like you have the ability to approach a woman, but it's not like when that's what our whole philosophy is like. You're not going to be the pickup guy, right? You're living your life,
100%.
and then you see that girl and you're like, damn, that girl's cute, and I know if I don't make a move right now I'm never going to see her again. And so in that spontaneous moment you're going up and just saying like, hey,
Yeah,
right?
100%. That's it. And it's like, you don't, it's less of a big deal now. Like, um, sure, you might feel like a little bit stupid if it doesn't work out or whatever,
Yeah.
but in the whole, it's like no one really cares, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, no
yeah,
one.
like no one actually gives a shit. It's just like as long as you go out there, um, yeah, and just say what you mean
Mhm.
and just be like, oh, that's me. Like, I'm pretty frank and straightforward when I
Yeah.
go out. So it's just like, yeah, you're like, sometimes you look a little bit dumb, but it's fun. Like,
Yeah,
it's all
and
just a bit of
that's
fun,
it's
really.
exactly right. It's like you don't take yourself too seriously, and it always feels better, like knowing you have the power to take action when you want to.
Yeah, a hundred
That's the
percent.
goal, right?
Mm,
What happens after? like you're saying, like, okay, sometimes you look a little silly. You
Yeah,
walk away knowing that you went for it, right?
exactly. Yeah,
So
that's it.
how has that impacted your life and you, now that you have this freedom where you're not paralyzed by fear anymore and you're able to do what you want to do?
Um, well, it's like it's kind of just an inner peace, really. I mean, at the moment, I'm working on a lot of different things, like we were talking about earlier, in terms of like writing projects and like goals in terms of other areas. So it's like I feel like this is less of a worry now. Like
Mhm.
before, it was I had a lot of fear, especially like with girls and stuff. But like now, it's kind of like I have to keep on top of it. I still have to like check in, and like sometimes I'll still watch your videos. I'll still like maybe interact with the Facebook group and just keep on top of things. But
Mhm.
it's not a massive panic. It's not like, oh, I'm so far behind with this part of my life now. This part of my life is just like ticking over, having like little successes, little failures, occasional big successes,
Mhm.
and occasionally I might bomb or something. But like overall, yeah, it's like it's just like this part of my life just ticks along now, and it's like it's comfortable. Um, by going for like uncomfortable, you get more comfortable. Like yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
generally speaking, like yeah.
yeah. So uh, it's no longer distracting you from other
It's
parts
not
of your life.
distracting me, no.
Get on
As
with
long as
life.
I as long as I make a little bit of time, like at the end of my day, like even if it's just like 10, 20 minutes, then just doing that, like just to stay where I'm at, that pretty much, yeah, that's it really. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like everything, right? Like it's just, yeah. Once you have it like figured out in your mind, like and kind of handled. Like, of course, nobody has anything handled 100%.
Mm,
Like once you have it handled enough, then yeah, just that maintenance and staying in the game. Uh,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. And I want to. Matthew and I have a lot in common. We're both quiet. We're both introverted. We both don't talk that much. So I really found it like interesting,
Yeah.
coaching you and talking to you. And I'm really happy that you volunteered for this call to to help other guys. And especially, I'm sure there are a lot of guys who are watching this who are very introverted and not talkative. And so to anyone watching who's like very introverted, not that talkative, maybe shy, maybe even a bit awkward, is like, you can be all those things and still have this part of your life handled, and have it handled quickly in like a relatively short period of time, 3 to 6 months. I mean, how long did it take you between the time where you were stuck and like afraid of taking action, and then you were out, and like, for example, when you went to that
Yeah.
skating event where you were like really playful and you did
Mm.
some crazy things, like what
I
was
th-
the time frame?
to be honest, like I think the first 4 weeks I felt like I was doing good, and then the middle 4 weeks I felt like I was doing awfully, and then the last 3 weeks, especially when I went to that thing in Copenhagen, went really well. Like I did all of this stuff, but yeah, I mean, you saw like the stuff that I was posting and the stuff I
Yeah.
said, like, and it all just flowed out naturally. But
Mhm.
like that was only because I was really like the one thing that I made sure I do was just like stay consistent with it.
Mhm.
I watched, I just like said like I would post in the Facebook group like 2 or 3 times a week, even if I was just posting random stuff. And it was
Yeah.
like I was just committing to like going to the Zoom meets,
Mhm.
going to like um following the like writing down everything, writing down like all of the notes and stuff, and just like completely committing to the 12 weeks, and then after that it seemed to just roll on a little bit. I did, but then I've got back up recently, so it's like
Mhm.
it's still an up and down thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, compared to where I was before, it was like down there. Now it's like, generally speaking, it's like a
Mhm.
massive yeah, still wavy, but like
Yeah.
much more much higher in general. Like I'm just much more confident in myself. Like yeah. like
Okay, so talk
100%.
about that a bit. How do you feel like more confident now? What's the difference?
It's I mean, there's the 80-20, there's the 80-20 rule in terms of everything you learn. And for me, it's always been from what you've taught. I mean, I like the whole course, but I think the 80-20 rule is going to vary for different people. So like for me, like I'm very introverted and I don't like speaking very much, but whereas for others, they might find something else in the course. But for me, it was all about the breathing, breathing and playfulness.
Mhm.
And yeah, coming from like a loving place. I think those were like the three. I won't say too much about it, but yeah, because of those three things I just apply all the time, it makes me just super confident. Well, not super confident, but like comfortable with myself, comfortable with that I can just handle situations. Yeah, breathing deep.
Breathing
That's
deep.
like breathing deep, 100%. Like that's gotten me taking actions in like places where I like if I was just on autopilot,
Hmm.
I would have just gone with the crowd, but then
Okay.
breathe deep and then it's like, oh wait, no, go this way. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, it's about relaxing and tell us a bit about playfulness because you incorporated that very well into your
Yeah.
approach.
Well, I started being playful with pretty much just everyone really. It wasn't so much like I'm gonna use this as a technique to like pick up a girl or anything. It was
Mhm.
more just like I'm just gonna start mucking around, like just having a laugh and
Mhm.
being stupid with people and
Mhm.
just taking the mick out of them, taking the mick out of myself. And
Yeah.
like I do that with everyone. Like I do that with my friends. I do that with as much as I can. And like and it plays really well. Like some people might be like, oh, if like if anyone cares, like yeah, that's just screw them. Like it's like the life is so much more interesting. Like I don't have serious conversations with people now.
Mhm.
It's really boring. Like I mean, yeah, if I'm going to a job interview, then maybe I will. But like if it's just speaking to people, it's yeah, all about just keeping it just light and fun. And yeah, and then when you do that, it seems like it's easier to just be more real anyway. So it's kind of like it seems to work really well.
Yeah. And so talking to women isn't a chore. It's like
Mm.
you go and you have fun with it and you enjoy the moment and you're not really attached too much to the outcome.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I think like the more you focus on that, on just like making them feel good, like just making sure everyone's having a good time and just
Mhm.
keeping everything fun, the more stuff happens anyway. Like as a result of doing that, it seems like
Yeah.
um, that's not to say that you shouldn't say, "Hey, I like you" or whatever, but you should definitely do that. But it seems
Mhm.
like the less you take yourself and them seriously, and you just you give more and you make them feel good, the more like it seems to just go both ways. So, and good things come as a result of that. So yeah.
Yeah. It's like women mirror your energy. They mirror
Mm,
whatever you're giving out, and because you're being loving and playful and relaxed, then they're giving that right back to you, right?
exactly. Yeah.
So I'm curious, how have your friends noticed a change in you? Have you been doing any of this stuff in front of your like group of friends? I'm just curious.
Um. Yeah. No. Like I think they kind of just they'll just kind of I don't very overtly be like, hey guys, I'm gonna go and march in here, like, but
Yeah.
I'll go and do it. And I think they just kind of like if you do it enough times, then they'll
Hmm.
kind of just accept it. Um, yeah, it's not really like a massive. It's not even that much of a massive change as I thought it would be in my head, but it's like
Hmm.
it's enough. Yeah, it's just people accept it. People
Okay.
just
I'm
gradually.
curious, like you said, like let's say example, you're skating with your buddies, and then you go and last like that one time you went and you talked to that cute girl over there, right?
Mm.
Whereas before you wouldn't. So has it been happening where you're with your group of friends who don't do that and then you go do it and then are they commenting, are they noticing, or
They're they're I think it's I think they yeah I think they'll notice, but they may, yeah, they notice, but they don't really say anything. And I think, but the reason why they don't really say much is because I've changed more as an overall person. So it's like I'm much more like bantery with them as well. And I don't think I think it's kind of like, oh, that's just what he does now. Kind of. It's like,
Okay.
yeah,
And
I'm just, yeah.
do they ask you for like tips or like, hey, how did you go talk to that girl or anything like that?
No, I don't. I think it's a bit like, I don't think I'm that much of like a player just as yet. But
Yeah.
like,
Well,
yeah,
not to be a player, but usually like if one guy does it and all the other guys don't, usually they'll either like comment or even ask like, hey, you know. So
yeah.
I was just curious about that.
Um, hmm. Yeah, I think I've had like comments from random people more than my actual friends, to be honest. Like
Okay.
random people who I've never even met before, like have said like, "Yo, that was cool," or like they've seen me speaking to random people or
Mhm.
random girls, and then they've gone and spoken to me. So it's like, but yeah, it's like it's almost like two separate. To be honest, it's like two separate realities. It's like, yeah, they just I think a lot of people I know don't associate themselves with doing that, so
Mhm.
they don't even comprehend it in some
Okay.
ways. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't
And
know.
um, what? So if you were like, what would you say to the introverted? So a lot of guys, I've been doing surveys and stuff, and a lot of guys who are watching my videos are guys that have been stuck for 1 year or more. Unfortunately, I would say the majority probably have been stuck for 2 to 3 years or more. And since you're an introvert and I'm an introvert, what would you say to the introverted guy who has all these beliefs in his head of, oh, I'm not entertaining enough, I'm not funny enough, I'm not talkative enough, basically seeing being shy or quiet as an obstacle? What would you say to that guy who's both stuck and like
Yeah.
very introverted? What would you say to him?
To be honest, I think being introvert's more of a strength. Like, to be completely frank, I think it's like people who are introverted and they play off that introverted side of them. Like, I think it's one of the best, like most attractive kind of people you can be, because like there's so many people who go out there and are really talkative, and like that's great. Like the people who are extroverted, I think that sound like if that's their style. But being an introverted, I don't think you need to say anything. And I think you connect. It's much easier to connect with people, especially women. Like women, I find it very easy to connect with a lot of women, just because and you can listen more. Um, you can listen more, and it's like you don't have to say that much. Like a lot of women like to talk anyway, so it's like, yeah, I don't see it as like a hindrance at all. Like yeah, it's being introverted itself isn't like, it's absolutely no issue. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Beautiful. So basically, yeah, I see it the same way, right? And even women have given me feedback.
sorry.
Like they would tell me that the reason I like you, Jad, is because you're not trying to attract attention to yourself.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you listen, right? Because I feel seen when I'm with you. You know, um, also the mystery, right? Like if you're an introvert, you're also a bit mysterious, right? Because they have to kind of work to get that information
yeah,
out of you. So
yeah.
also you have that charm, that mystery, that connection. Introverts, I don't know this if I can make the generalization, but
Mm.
just like you said, I can relate very much to it. Is I'm very good at connecting with people. Like that's it's natural. It's like a natural gift for me, and I think for you too, right? Like
Mm.
it's just
Yep.
natural, and so it's a very big strength.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's huge. Like
yeah,
it's so, yeah.
yeah. As opposed to, and again, not to say extroverts now are bad or anything,
No,
but
no, not at all.
there are people that talk more than they listen, and everything is about me instead of the woman. That's an obstacle.
Mm.
So I do have friends who are extremely extroverted, but then if we look at how many people they genuinely connect with, it's genuinely much lower. You know, it stays on more of a superficial level. So both sides have their challenges. Both sides have their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the right terms, but both sides have their strengths. So
That's it.
You got to know who you are and then play off
your
strengths, right?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's what I do. I just play off my strengths. Like, yeah, I am that quiet person. And they like it as long as you actually say something and like you bounce for a little bit. Yeah, it pays off really good.
Yeah, it's good. So you don't lose any sleep wishing you were different.
No. I mean, like, definitely not in that sense. No, like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, what? No, I think like, as an introvert, I can't really. Yeah, I don't see any issue with it. Like, I mean, the weaknesses I've had before have been kind of. It's always the only problem I've ever had has been like just speaking up. Like, it's like, okay, that time when you need to speak up and say like, oh, okay, I'm not happy about this, or hey, I like you, or stuff like that. So it's like, which again comes back to breathing deep for me and just saying what you want to say. So like, as long as you can get that strength in you to just say what you want to say, I think that's really all you need to do. Then it's like, for me, once I've done that, it's like, I'm done. Like I said what I needed to say, so I can just chill now. And then most people really like that. They're like, oh, okay. Yeah,
you have that freedom, right? I think that's what everyone ultimately is looking for, is like to have the freedom to express themselves the way they want to, and to
exactly
take the action they want to when those moments count, right? When you see that girl, you go up. You're not paralyzed by fear, right? Yeah. Okay, great. I think maybe one last question. Before you took coaching, how many months or years did you spend on the internet looking through dating advice, information, and all that stuff?
4 5 years. Like, and it's just ridiculous. It's too overwhelming. Like, you need a coach. You need someone like you who will point things out when like obvious things, like if you like, because I remember like in the first week I said I screwed something up, and in the first week I posted in the Facebook group, oh, I screwed something up. People were just saying like, don't worry man, you did really well, and stuff like that. But like, you need like that little feedback to kind of know where you're at. If you're just looking at endless videos from a million different people, like you just can't get anywhere with that. Yeah, and I think if you just do this one thing, like one course, when you're actually, because like there's like the Zoom meetings, which help so much, like
video conference calls,
that, like all of that stuff, and then like the interactions with people on Facebook, like gives you just an idea of like where everyone's at and stuff. And then with the content itself, like the content's really, really good, in a really good order. As long as you stick to it and you interact with people on the group, and you go to the Zoom meets, like it will just launch you ahead, because you've got a coach, like you say, like you're a coach, and it just helps like 100 times over. Like, it's so much easier when you've got that.
Yeah, so basically you'd agree that like when you get coaching and that feedback, it's feedback. It got you unstuck, versus the 4 years before where it was just kind of like
haphazard and all over the place. And it's much easier to just have like actual directions and stuff like that.
Excellent. Well, I'm very proud of your progress, and and especially like I love how you embrace the philosophy, especially about being, going in with good intentions, being loving and being playful. I mean, that's just, when you're doing that, you're having fun, the girls are having fun, outcomes don't matter that much, and then it's just
exactly
right. And then you have the freedom, everybody wins too, everybody feels good. It's not not this icky like, oh, I'm going to pick up girls, or it's
Yeah,
just,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, screw that. Yeah,
Yeah, screw
yeah,
that, exactly.
exactly. What about, yeah, all the stuff we said. That's, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, if you're watching this and you would like to get some help and you're sick of being unstuck, and if you want this year to be the year where you finally break through and get the freedom and the results you want, I'm offering a 45-minute strategy session for, not for everyone, but for people who qualify. If you'd like to apply, go to jadtjones.com/apply, and there'll be some questions there. If you qualify, then you'll get a free 45-minute session with me. I'll give you some tips, and maybe we'll be able to help you out, and maybe you can even join the next program. So yeah, thanks Matthew for taking your time. Thanks
No
for
worries.
yeah, thanks for a big thing about Brothers Elite. Brothers Elite is the group that we have. A big part of Brothers Elite is that men are there taking a stand for each other's greatness. So we're taking a stand for each other's greatness, both in Brothers Elite and for men in general. So thank you for being a stand for men and taking your time out to do this interview, to
No
help
worries.
everyone out there, and you know, give the guys hope who maybe are losing hope or who are scared and don't know where to turn. So I
That's
appreciate
great. I'm really glad yeah, if there's any help, that's great. Like, yeah,
it. All right, thanks a lot, Matthew. Take care, and
cool.
hopefully we'll see you soon in Bucharest.
Yeah, hell yeah. Nice one.
All right,
Cheers,
take
Jad.
care.